Hello everyone, this is Lucy05 and welcome to a Cobra Sideshow toy review. And today's video is a part 2 video on the 2010 release by Hasbro of the Marvel Universe Secret Wars comic pack issue number 10, where in the part 1 video we already covered the Wasp figure and the Absorbing Man. In this part 2 video we're looking at Dr. Doom. So let's start on and check out Dr. Doom's accessory. Dr. Doom comes with a Mauser pistol, which is actually nicely sculpted. It's quite detailed little stuff there, and there's also a hole there for the figure to place the finger, the index finger, into the hole there to hold the weapon. Problem with this Mauser is that, well, actually problem with the figure is that the hand is sculpted a bit widened up for the holding hand, so he barely able to hold the pistol. It keeps on falling from his hand, so that's a bad point there. Now it comes with a gun holster, but it's totally molded in a way that you can't actually, well, store the Mauser pistol, so you're forced to have the figure to hold this. It's a nice little accessory, but the hand itself can't even hold it properly, so I guess you have to use a blow dry to close the hand a bit more deeper in. Otherwise you can't actually have the figure hold the pistol. Next we have the cape itself. I have to pop the head off. Cape is actually a nice touch. This entire thing is quite solid. It's a bit soft, but it's still rather solid stuff. As you can see all the molded details there, all the wrinkles. It's very nicely done. I really like this entire cape. Here it is already painted in sort of more towards a little bit yellow, a little bit gold paint job. Bottom part is not painted, of course. Inside you have two holes and a peg to place it directly at the back of the figure. The two holes is to fit the, well, the jetpacks at the back of his, well, body. And let him stand for a while. Now the entire thing is quite solid, so it can actually support his back if you have a problem trying to, well, pose the figure to stand properly. So this thing can actually stand behind his, to stand and support his body on the back there, like so. It's very nicely done. Now let's take a look at the figure's paint job. The paint job is actually not bad. I really like the paint job. There's no bleeding, there's no sloppy paint job. What I really wanted to complain is that, well, it's just a nitpicking there. The green color that they use is a bit too bright compared to the back of the packaging. I really wish that they used the same color green as for his hood and his cape. This is a bit too bright there. The arms, the legs, the face, even the jetpack at the back there is all painted in silver, nicely done. However, the arms and legs, the upper bicep, the wrists, the fingers, the ankles and the toes, they are all painted with the blue lines. It's actually not bad. The belt there is nicely painted with brown, and the gun holster button there, you notice there's a gold paint job on the button. The belt buckle is also painted in gold, nicely done. The face, however, despite that is a total silver, the eye holes and the mouth hole is actually painted a bit more darker, so it looks very nicely done there as well. Bottom part of the figure's feet are the thrusters, which are already painted in a bit more yellow rather than gold, but it's still nicely done. Other than that, not much to talk about the paint job. Let's take a look at the figure's sculpt. Now the arms and legs and the lower crotch there is the same mold as Ultron. There's no changes at all. It's basically the same thing, except for the crotch part where they added the skirt there, just overlapping the, well, the crotch area. But the waist there with the gun holster and the belt is nicely sculpted. The face, however, is the best part. The face is nicely done. Nicely done. I really love the face sculpt. But the arms and leg is about the same thing, so I have nothing much to talk about there. Now, besides that, let's take a look at the back there. You got the jetpacks. It's already nicely sculpted, but not a lot of details. You know, just one part of the thrusters itself is not very detailed there. At least this part is nicely sculpted, despite a little bit simplistic. And here you notice all the wrinkles at the lower torso area is very nice. All these wrinkles being done, very nicely done. Now let's take a look at the figure's articulation. First I have to pop the head off and put the cape back on. Now with the cape, there's no problem turning the head left and right. However, if you turn it a bit more, it will loosen up the head joint and pop off the head way too easily. Head can actually turn 360 degrees. Put it back on. The head can actually barely pivot the head a little bit up and down, turn the head 360 degrees. The torso can go downwards, backwards, turn 360 degrees. And it also comes with a waist articulation, the same thing as Ultron. I'm not too sure why they would include a waist articulation. That turns 360 degrees for these two figures. Now the shoulders there can turn 360 degrees and spread the arms this far. However, for this shoulder here, the joint doesn't close all the way in. As you notice, this one can close all the way in. This one's stuck this way because they didn't cut enough access for the lower armpit there. So it was just stuck on, well, this far, which is kind of sad. Upper bicep turns 360 degrees. The elbow bends this far and turns 360 degrees. Wrist there turns 360 degrees as well. Now the hip joint is like this. You can actually bend the legs this far and a little bit backwards and spread the legs this far. Double joint the knee, that bends this far, and the ankles here turns 360 degrees, pivot downwards and upwards. However, this one is frozen. The ankle can turn 360 degrees or it just falls. However, it cannot pivot up and down because it's already frozen. So that's a bit disappointing there. Overall, I really like Dr. Doom. The figure is actually quite nice, but it's a bit loose on some joints, and some of the joints are not really well cut with the lower armpit there because it doesn't close all the way in. And this leg, you'll notice, this leg is a bit, it's not straight at all, sort of like bent on one side. So it's still alright because he can still stand because he's being supported by the back of the cape itself. And I'm a bit disappointed on the Mauser pistol. Well, actually I'm more disappointed on the right hand because he can't even hold the Mauser pistol properly. Overall, among these two figures, well, if you want to count Wasp there as a figure, 3 figures, I would say that, well, to get the comic pack, most people would just want to get the Dr. Doom figure because he's actually more worth it than, well, compared to the Absorbing Man. The Absorbing Man is a bit more disappointing compared to Dr. Doom there. So if I'm gonna give a rating out of Dr. Doom, I would say I'll give him a nice 7 out of 10. Oh, bastard doesn't even understand. I'll put it one side. Yes, a 7 out of 10 for Dr. Doom. So I thank you all for watching. This is Lucy05 and I'm signing off.